Hi, this is Patty Polish. I'm just making sure you can hear me.
Hi, Patty. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Afternoon, guys. It's Doug Fisher out here, just making sure you can hear me.
Hello, this is Kevin with
I can hear you.
Stadium Mass.
Thanks, guys.
All right, welcome everybody. My name is Dan Coverley. I'm the SAR Board Chair. It is 2 p.m. on Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Let's open the Nevada Board of Search and Rescue meeting. Lauren, please call the roll.
Sheriff Dan Coverly,
Here.
Sergeant Matthew Marlowe.
Here.
Thank you, sir. Eric Antle. I can see him joining. Give me just one moment. Eric Antle. Kevin Hayward. Wood.
Here.
Thanks, sir. Doug Fisher.
Here.
Carol Lynn. Sergeant Garrett Bird.
Here.
Sir. Patty Polish.
Here.
Ian Frishy.
Here.
Sir. Brian O'Neill.
Here.
Eric Antle.
Present.
Rodney Wright.
Here.
John Fansler. Samantha Laddick.
Here.
You have quorum.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2, public comment. This is for discussion only. This is the first period set aside for public comment. If you would like to make public comment by phone, please call in by dialing 669-219-2599. When you are prompted to enter a meeting ID, please enter 202-331-8963 and press pound. When prompted for a participation ID, please press pound. When asked to provide a public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and again *6 when your comments are complete. In order to give people time to call in, let's start with the OEM meeting location. Is there anyone in the room here that would like to make public comment? Seeing none, let's move to the Zoom platform. Do any of the members on the Zoom platform have a public comment? Seeing none, now let's move to the phone. If there's anyone on the phone that would like to make a public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and make your public comment, and press *6 when your comments are complete. Seeing none, I am not hearing any further public comment, so I will close agenda item number 2 and open agenda item number 3. Agenda item number 3, approval of minutes. This is for discussion and possible action. Would anyone like to discuss the minutes? Seeing no discussion, I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 8th, 2025.
Second.
We have a first
Yeah.
by Sergeant Bird. Sorry, I screwed that up. First by Sergeant Bird. Can I have a second?
This is Patty Polish. I'll second.
And a second by Patty Polish. Let's take a vote. All in favor of approving the meeting minutes from July 8th, 2025, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. All right, passes unanimously. I will close out agenda item number 3 and move to agenda item number 4. Agenda item number 4, review of search and rescue statistics in Nevada 2025. This is for discussion only. I'll turn this over to Rodney Wright. Rodney?
Good afternoon, everybody. Rodney Wright for the record. I brought this up last year to try to get an idea of how many search and rescue calls that we run in the state in any one given year. On attachment number 4, you will see some of the different counties that had responded. And then we also have the details for what the state duty officer took in the way of search and rescue calls. So going through basically the questions that we were asking were how many calls did that search and rescue unit run? And then we were trying to ask them to break down what type of responses that they were really doing over the course of the year. And they're pretty much all over the board, from body recoveries to evidence searches to stolen vehicle ping remotes. And so you can go through and you can see all the different counties that responded: Churchill, Lander, Lincoln, Las Vegas Metropolitan Search and Rescue, Lyon County, Nye County, Nevada Task Force 1, and Washoe County were all ones that responded to these requests. I'm sorry. On the back page of the document, you'll see the calls that the Office of Emergency Management Duty Officer took over the year. There were 47 calls that were received over the year. As last year, the emergency locator transponder calls from the AFRCC were the majority of the calls that were received at 32. We also broke it down by calls by jurisdiction. Clark County had 24 of these SAR calls. And then you can see it broken down. And then we even had a SAR call for California because we were requested to provide a helicopter for a hiker that was up by Yosemite that was above 11,000 feet, and they could not find a helicopter to get him off the mountain. So I did make a little note down at the bottom, some of the more remarkable calls. On the 6th of January, 2025 in Nye County, we received a call from the Air Force Rescue Coordination Center about a missing aircraft. There was no ELT signal given. The plane was reported overdue by the family. This turned into a 22-day-long search trying to find out where this aircraft was. Eventually, we ended up finding it in a mountain range just east of Round Mountain, Nevada, crashed into the hillside. And then it turned into a pretty lengthy process of trying to get up there to confirm the status of the pilot. We couldn't get any resources to fly through search and rescue through the state, and we ended up having the family reach out, and they ended up using a YouTuber, Dave Sparks, who has his own Black Hawk helicopter and was able to come in. And they were pretty professional, and they were able to recover the body in the aircraft and pull it off the mountain. So that was one of the more remarkable calls that we had through the Office of Emergency Management last year. And then the other one that kind of stuck out in my mind for us was we had a call from AFRCC about a personal locator beacon that went off. And the history on this beacon, it was stolen out of California 9 years prior. And so the shocked nature of the phone call I made to the detective that was assigned to that case was pretty amazed that we found it, and it came back the PLB was in the dump in Story County. So somebody had probably stole it and dumped it in there, and I think it might have got set off when the heavy equipment was rolling over it. But so those are some of the more remarkable calls, and some of the calls that were made by the counties on some of the services that responded. So I'll be glad to entertain any questions, and if there's anything that maybe we want to look at for the survey for the end of this year for next year's first meeting of the year, I'll be glad to take questions.
Hey, Rodney, Brian O'Neill for the record. Do you have a definition of a SAR call?
I do not. In fact, I was just asked that before the meeting here. Maybe that's something that we work on the next meeting and come up with what a definition of a SAR call is for the group.
Yeah, because I think that if you incorporated fire department response into WUI wilderness area before an official search and rescue team gets responded, but as part of sort of the initial response to that incident, I think if that was clearly defined and then captured in NERIS, so our reporting reflected that, and then we can pull that data, I think you would have a much bigger snapshot of what the SAR situation in Nevada is.
Okay.
Jared Bird for the record. I do agree with that. There's some instances we have kind of like verbal agreement with some of the fire agencies in Washoe County where it is in the wilderness. And we have a kind of a handshake agreement that if it's a certain distance into the wilderness, that they'll handle it. But I mean, technically, maybe by definition, it would be considered a search and rescue call, but fire handles it. Secondly was maybe, and this is what I'd suggest to you before the meeting, maybe coming up with some sort of standardized list of what, calls are. Like you said, they're kind of, everybody has their own little description of what their call is. And maybe if we had a standardized list of categories that we can all just throw our statistics into, might make it a little bit easier for next year. Okay.
Eric's online question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Eric.
Thanks, Rodney. The Sarah Cantel Division of Forestry for the record. Rodney, one piece is, when we look at 5 requests for helicopter orders or requests, if we could delineate what the request was, that would be helpful on my end to make sure that capacity and capability is available to the state. So such as hoist rescue versus recon, etc.
Okay, and are you referring to the state call reviews?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
that would be for NDF and then, the National Guard, because we help facilitate some aviation ops.
Okay. I can do that. I know we pulled that one out as a specific SAR, but we can even break that down subcategory more. Is it a hoist? Is it as a surge? Is it a medical? We definitely could do that.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions for this agenda item? Okay, I'll put something together and bring it to the next board meeting, and when we'll make this an action item and we can move forward for the survey for the upcoming year. Thank you for your guys' input.
Perfect. Thank you, Rodney. I will close out agenda item number 4 and move to agenda item number 5. Agenda item number 5, discussion about state search and rescue gap analysis. This is for discussion only. Rodney?
All right, Rodney Wright for the record again. So we had a discussion in the last meeting about, the interest of putting together a state urban search and rescue group. Since that last meeting, I've been reaching out to the state urban search and rescue agency. And I have had a couple conversations with a few states, most recently with Connecticut. And they said that doing this gap analysis is a great first start to go with that. Connecticut had to do that. They did a gap analysis to find out where their shortcomings were in their state. And then they took that gap analysis and they were able to take that to their state legislature to try to get funding. Now, the downside to that, he said it took them 10 years to actually have their state finally fund for a state urban search and rescue fund. So it's not a guarantee, but we want to make sure that we can present to the legislature that there is an absolute critical need to put one of these teams together in the state so that we can help ourselves first. With the nature of how FEMA and funding and disaster declarations are being in a totally unknown state in the future, I think this is a good first start to make sure that we're able to help take care of ourselves first with this gap analysis, and then be able to take this board recommendation along with this gap analysis and put together a white paper and just delivering a whole package to the state legislature to try to impress upon them that we have a real dire need to make a state urban search and rescue group so that we can help take care of our own should that bad day ever finally arrive. So with that, I'll be glad to entertain any questions. I will probably be reaching out to the board on any suggestions that you would like to include in the gap analysis. to make sure that we can capture the data. We discussed it before in the last agenda item about how everybody has kind of their special niche and the more calls. We want to make sure that we can capture that kind of data and make sure that it kind of really rounds out that gap analysis so that we're capturing all the details.
Yeah, Rodney, Brian O'Neill for the record. I think, as you know, we talked about the statistics and accurate reporting and fire department involvement. I don't know if Kelly Barati and Nevada Fire Chiefs would be a good kind of instrument to start to pull that off, but that might be a person in an organization that can start to coordinate that for you.
Okay.
Dan Carly for the record. Rodney, when you were reaching out to these other states, you mentioned Connecticut. Did they go into what their funding looks like? What are they getting from their states?
So after, we talked on the phone for quite a bit, and he did say the struggle it was to get their state legislator to fund. They tried to do one-time funding of like 200,000, which would barely get them anything that they needed. And I think that's what took them so long to get to the final point. Right now, if my memory serves me correctly, they're getting like 500,000 a year to support, but that's funding one position to run the whole SUSAR program and do the inventory and have locations and maintenance on equipment, and then having that ability to pull folks together for training for the year and stuff like that. They've offered to help out Nevada every step of the way when we start really gaining momentum on this to help. And unfortunately, I reached out at the wrong time when they had the first set of storms on the East Coast, and everybody was kind of activated, and they've slowly kind of come in. But yeah, the SUSAR organization has been really good, and just waiting for other states to reach out. The request is still out there to talk to others about what they've done.
Good. Well, I definitely think this is a worthwhile project. I don't think that it will be like quick and easy by any stretch. This will take some long-term effort, but I think it's worth doing, you know what I mean? And so just keep plugging along. All right, anything else for Rodney on number 5? All right, we'll close out agenda item number 5 and move to number 6. Agenda item number 6, discussion on SAR board approved radio frequency. This is for discussion only. Rodney.
All right, Rodney Wright again for the record. In doing the agenda build, this was a request by board member Patty Polish about revisiting the approved SAR board frequencies that we approved back on April 4th of 2024. So these are the lists in Nevada that have been approved by the board that could be used for SAR units across the state. Again, we still run into the problem of the agencies would have to, look at what frequencies they would put into their frequency database. But we just wanted to revisit this and get this pushed out to everybody again. I will be sending this out to all of the SAR coordinators for the counties so that they have this copy of the list so that they can see it. And then we also wanted to make a mention that the Nevada Interoperability Field Operating Guide, it's a mouthful, the Nevada Interoperability Field Operating Guide, the NEVIFOG, has been updated since that 2024 approval, and those are available. You can reach out to us here at OEM and we can give you access to that file. We didn't attach it to this because it's a very large document. But we would be able to, have that reference as well to any of the interoperability channels that have been approved by the statewide interoperability coordinator for any of the frequencies that could be used in Nevada. Patty, do you have any other comment for this one?
No, I just appreciate you bringing it up again. And my concern was, we talked about getting it out to all the SAR coordinators within the counties, because some of these counties, I don't believe still have this list.
Yep, and I just recently re-updated my list of county coordinators. There were several new ones that I did not have, so we'll be definitely getting this pushed back out to everybody so that they all have a copy of this.
Thank you, sir.
Yep,
Rodney, this is,
go ahead.
sorry, this is Carol. Has anybody reached out to you from Civil Air Patrol to get this updated list?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Yep. But I know you have that connection. You'd feel free to share that with them.
Copy.
All right, any further questions for Rodney on this item? Seeing none, I will close out item number 6 and move on to agenda item number 7. Agenda item number 7, public comment. This is for discussion only. This is the second period set aside for public comment. If you would like to make public comment by phone, please call in by dialing 669-219-2599. When you are prompted to enter a meeting ID, please enter 202-331-8963 and press pound. When prompted for a participation ID, please press pound. When asked to provide a public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and *6 again when your comments are complete. In order to give people time to call in, let's start with the OEM meeting location. Is there anyone in the room that here would like to make public comment? Seeing none, let's move to the Zoom platform. Do any of the members on the Zoom platform have a public comment? Seeing none, let's move to the phone. If there's anyone on the phone that would like to make public comment, please press *6 to unmute yourself and make your public comment. Press *6 when your comments are complete. Nothing on the phone. I will close out agenda item number 7 and move to agenda item number 8. Item number 8, adjournment. This is for discussion of possible action. I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Sergeant Byrd,
Lieutenant Fisher will second it.
Lieutenant Fisher second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?